You all can find a seat. I think we are going to get started. We have to be a little we live stream it. And good evening, those of you who are joining us from live stream. Connelly, you're starting this. I'm like eating. Oh, you're eating? Okay, so I'll talk for a second while you finish that bite. Is that right? Is that good? Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone this evening. And Connelly is actually going to come up here and get us started. But my name, if I have not met you, is Dina Kretzer. I'm an executive regional vice president with Arbonne. And coming up here to start us off tonight is my dear, dear friend, who I would never have in a million years met apart from this business, and now one of the closest friends in the whole world. This is Regional Vice President Connelly Stewart, and she's going to start us off tonight, and I will come up in a few minutes. You're going to do the computer? I am going to do the computer, and I'm not going to step over that. This way. Okay. Hello, good evening. We're so glad that you're here tonight. Again, my name is Connelly Stewart. I'm a Regional Vice President, Independent Consultant with Arbonne. And we are going to be showing some slides back here. I'm going to talk through them, and then Dina will catch me when you'll get caught up. So let me first introduce myself and tell you a little bit more about me. And also, I just want to thank, we have a lot of guests here tonight, which is really exciting. So what you can expect is our meetings are a blend of Arbonne Independent Consultants and also guests. So that may be that you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about Arbonne. It may be that you just came for a little girls' night and you get to do health and wellness at the same time with wine. So, you know, that you can't beat that. So thank you for taking time out of your night to be here with us. There's nothing more that we love than to share Arbonne. So I was introduced to Arbonne actually 7 years ago. I was a full-time kindergarten teacher at the time. So my best friend, Britt, had started her Arbonne business and said, Con, you should totally do this. And if you knew my friend Brittany, you would just think, of course, she sells lipstick, because that's what I thought she did. I had no idea it was a real business. I'm like, Britt, you're cute as a button, you know, your makeup always looks great. Like, this is really good hobby for you, but, you know, I just earned a master's degree in teaching, so I'm not sure it's for me. So can you kind of see where my mindset was? I had no clue, as a lot of people really don't have a clue as to what a true business opportunity this really is. So I was enlightened, clearly, because here I am, but it took me a little while. So I did have some initial hesitations, mostly that it just wasn't a real business is what I really thought. But once I saw others succeeding, and I got to meet now one of my dear friends and mentors, Dr. Lynn Puana, who lives in Hawaii. She had come to Richmond here to just share Arbonne just like this. And what I learned from Lynn is that she very quickly replaced her physician salary in Arbonne by promoting to the top level in our company, kind of in a racehorse sort of way. You don't have to do this business that way, but I realized when I met Lynn, a real person, and that she had that story, that this could actually be something that I would do as well. Because deep down, I was not 100% happy with my job as a teacher. And I was just in the start of my career too. So for me to realize that quickly that I don't know if I want to do this forever was a little bit scary, because I always thought I would be a teacher. But some things I didn't love about it was that literally, like, when you do a good job in teaching and many other professions too, you get more work put on your plate, but your salary doesn't change. So I realized, being the smart gal that I am, my gosh, I feel like I should fly under the radar a little bit, do a great job in the classroom with my kids, but don't go above and beyond, because, you know, I don't really want to have more work put for the same amount of pay. And that didn't feel good inside, that I was working in that way. You know, I'm like, that's not right. Like, I know that I was kind of born for more, right? So all those things were kind of going on. Then I saw the true income opportunity with Arbonne, and then I said yes, because then I also realized I had this other dream that I hadn't said out loud to anyone, which was that I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, which now I am. I have 2 boys, ages 4 and 6, but I didn't really know how to voice that because I didn't know how it would happen. So when I saw Arbonne and these income potentials that I'm going to share with you, and then the culture that comes with it, and the fabulous products and everything we stand for, I knew that this was actually my ticket to that. So fast forward 7 years later, here I am, you know, having lived that life for quite a while now. So once I had
my oldest son, Grayson, he's 6. I stepped away from teaching, replaced my salary at that point with Arbonne, and just really haven't looked back. And it's a great feeling, you guys. And so now to pass that on to anyone else, whatever your goals are, just to be able to be that mentor and leader to say, look, I did it, this is how you can do it too, because that's what someone did for me. They coached and mentored me, and that would be Dina. So, and you got me covered, awesome. So we're just gonna go on to the comp plan. Yes, so we start here because it matters. Let's be honest. The numbers matter because whatever your goal is, this is a vehicle and these commissions are that vehicle to get you to goal X, Y, and Z. So there's 4 different levels in Arbonne. The first, we start as a consultant, and what's cool about being a consultant is you can make a commission on any of your sales right away. And then our first level of management is district manager, and that's between 200 to 1,000 plus per month. And we actually teach and train this to do this promotion in your first 1 to 2 months, just because it's automatically an additional amount of income that you're making or commission. Then there's area manager, which is 1,000 to 3,500 plus per month. And this is an amazing level, especially for a former teacher, because by golly, I was replacing my salary right here, and it wasn't that hard actually to become an area manager, which was exciting. I could see the path, and I knew that I could do it. And this is also where your income becomes billable. So just wrap your mind around that for a minute, and let me explain what it means. So literally in my will, my Arbonne ID will go to my husband and then to my children, so down 2 generations, meaning the recurring income that I'm creating, they can still continue to receive it and actually continue to grow it if they would like as well. So that feels like, that is like true legacy. Then regional vice president is 3,500 to 16,000 plus per month. And this is also where you earn your company car. So from Arbonne, it's a white Mercedes. And this is what you get, just to explain the specifics. It's $800 a month in your paycheck that you don't have to use that all for your car, or you can have a car that costs more than that. 800 goes toward it. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you have a white Mercedes. And then national vice president is an average of 22,000 plus per month. And this is our top level, and that's just the average. There are national vice presidents making that, many of us know personally, national vice presidents making much, much higher commissions per month. It would kind of blow your mind because it does mine, but you never know it because these people seem just like you and me, which I love. And so here you still have your car bonus, it just goes up to 1,000 per month. Okay, so there's many different things you can do with these levels. You can kind of envision in your life. It took a little while for me to envision, honestly, that I would be a regional vice president and will promote to a national vice president, because I truly did not have that vision for myself right at the beginning. And I so love and appreciate that Arbonne has grown that in me, because that's, what else would do that, for me to realize that I can do this and so can others. So let's dig into the Arbonne story, because, we saw the commissions, you heard my story, but then what makes Arbonne so unique? And it's this story. So we're a botanically based beauty, health, and wellness company because we've been around for almost 4 decades. So we're really stable, which matters, we're not going anywhere. We have cutting edge product research and development, and our motto is pure, safe, and beneficial. So you just remember those words. When you think of Arbonne, health and wellness, pure, safe, and beneficial, because that's how easy it is to describe what Arbonne is. And my friends from my former networking group I was telling you girls about, all of them can repeat, Arbonne, pure, safe, beneficial. I'm like, yes, I've done my job. That's what you need to remember about us. We're a very passionate community of independent consultants. You're probably picking up on that right now. We're global. We have a great comp plan, and we have an amazing home office in Irvine, California. I love that, because beauty of having my own business with Arbonne is it's also not just my own business, meaning Arbonne Corporate has my back with the marketing materials and so much more. And we're also a member of the Direct Selling Association. So our product advantage, because our products are super unique. In fact, I don't really think there's anything out there, and I've had several people tell me that in the past few months who had never heard of Arbonne. I've never heard of a company that you have all of this with this motto. So it's super unique. We combine the best of science and nature and new technology. So you're going to see the products are always evolving, shifting, growing, and that's just keeping up with technology, one, and also just new research and development on ingredients. We're plant-based, botanically inspired formulations. We actually we have a Swiss heritage, so everything's formulated in Switzerland and made here in the US. So that means we adhere to the European standards. And in Europe, their standards are much stricter than here in the US. So you may know this fact, but if not, I'm gonna share it because I think it'll stay in your brain. So in in the European Union is the standard that we follow. So the European Union bans over 1,400 chemicals or ingredients from their skincare, their makeup products, and in the US we ban how many? 14. Like, say it out loud. Yes, not 0. But so I always have people guess that at group presentations, and some people are like 50. I'm like, lower, So it's amazing to follow the European Union because automatically that makes our products a lot safer, a lot purer. You know what you're putting on your skin goes into your bloodstream in less than 30 seconds. So it absolutely matters what products we're putting on our skin. It's all women here tonight. So as women, we are exposed to over 500 chemicals just on a daily basis because we use a lot of product, right? So let's think about what products we're using because that's something we're using daily. So you guys, we're clinically tested. We source our ingredients from around the globe, and we're vegan certified, so we're never tested on animals. That's huge. That's a hard certification to achieve. We're really, really proud of that. And we're gluten-free, and the other is kosher, you're seeing here at the bottom. So product advantage, page 2. Thank you, Anne. So just on the pure, safe, and beneficial, I'm just gonna not really go crazy on this one because I feel like I've shared so much already on our motto. But if you do pay attention to what we're formulated without, that's just some, but that's a pretty big list right there. So often it matters. It definitely matters what's in your product. So don't get me wrong. Remember, we're a great blend of nature and science, and that's important because the science behind the product is why they really work. But many times it really also matters what's not in your product, especially when you're thinking about the safety. And just like we don't use mineral oil, so mineral oil is something that could potentially sound like it's good for you because it's got the word mineral and oil, but it's not. So that's a toxic ingredient, and so it's in so many of your products on the shelves, not in Arbonne, but because we don't use mineral oil, so it sits on your skin kind of like saran wrap, so it doesn't really absorb in. But because we don't use it, you do really see and feel the difference. So that's the kind of an example of often what's not in your product is going to make a difference the way that it looks, feels. You can think about that with makeup too, right? Because it's going to just go on differently, stay on differently. And then, you guys, we have a scientific board, advisory board, and so this is just to show you that there is a lot of research and a lot of science that goes into our products and what they stand for. And then this next one. So I love this page because this is the reason why I said yes to Arbonne. Well, the big reason was the commission. To be completely honest, like that's when I realized I think I kind of might be a business gal because I saw, wow, like I could totally leverage my time and make these commissions by sharing fabulous products with other people, and that's fun to me, right? But then this is the second reason, because wide range of consumable products that are all pure, safe, and beneficial, right? And so there is literally a product for everyone in Arbonne, and it's very important for them to be consumable because consumable products run out, and from a business side, when a product runs out, there's a need to reorder. Even as me as a consultant, I absolutely want to reorder, and I'm getting actually paid on my orders, which is fabulous. So it's like a double discount, right? And I absolutely want to reorder them because they're good, they work. And so we got skincare, you can kind of see on the display here, we've got the skincare in the middle, nutrition, personal care products, and makeup, which is in the back. Big shout out to Ann and Fran duo. I don't see Ann, you're there. Fabulous makeup display, but feel free after to try some because I think we have the best makeup ever. It was vegan. So on the skincare, this is one of our flagship lines. So this is called the RE9 Advanced line. We have several different skincare lines. This is what you may know Arbonne more for because it is just amazing. I love this line. And so this is our anti-aging line. I think I already said that. It's a step system, which is great because true, really great skincare should have steps. You can ask an esthetician. And so this one has a competitive advantage. It's, lessens the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It improves your hydration and moisturization, which is huge because that's where you really get that like dewier skin, that just healthy looking skin. And it improves the skin firmness, elasticity, and tone, just to name a few great things that this line does. And then the next is our Genius Ultra, which I also have up here on display. And so the Ultra is really cool. So this uses ultrasound technology so that your products basically can go deeper to the dermis of your skin, which is where the real work really happens. So you can use it with almost all of the products from the anti-aging line. I really love it with the serum. I love our Intensive Renewal Serum. It increases your cell turnover rate, and so you just use the Ultra, while you're applying the serum. I love it with the eye cream too, and you can see some incredibly dramatic results. Ask for before and afters if you're interested because there are some good ones floating around this room. And then Arbonne Nutrition. I am not going to dive into that because Jessie is doing that tonight, our Arbonne Nutrition guru. So I need like that. So this is one of my favorite lines. I use these products every day. I can't wait to really jump into them in January with our 30-day clean eating challenge. I've already shared with a few of you tonight, so Jessie will share more on that. Okay, yeah, so now I have the pleasure of turning this mic over to Dina Kretzer.
Thank you so much, Connolly. That was awesome. So I'm going to pick up with this next piece, but I'm going to give a little bit of my background first. Can y'all hear me okay? Is that better? When I was first asked to look at this business opportunity 11 years ago, I was not one bit interested. That's an understatement. My mind was closed tight. I had no time. I had no interest. I didn't want anything that remotely had to do with sales. And I did, however, love the anti-aging skincare line. I had just tried it for a few weeks. It was beginning to make a real difference in my skin, which is exciting to me because I was approaching the big 5-0 and approaching Carly's wedding. And both of those things make a 50-year-old person very self-conscious about their appearance. So my consultant was in Nebraska. I didn't even know her. Her sister in St. Louis had been a friend of mine from way back in Oklahoma. How that gets around. So this friend has recommended the anti-aging products and had gotten her sister a sample pack down here because it doesn't all fit up here, and had sent me this little sample pack in the mail, and that was my introduction to the skincare. And I was floored that it was working and was asking Nebraska consultant, can you mail me more of these because all my friends are 50-ish and they're going to love this. I will send you business all day. And of course that made this consultant say, well, if you're telling your friends, you should take a look at the business. I thought, oh no, thank you. I will never do one of these things. I thought, is it one of these things? I had no idea. I don't even go to parties for these things. But I finally listened to what she wanted to share because she was being very polite and giving me 2 or 3 weeks before she would ask very nicely again. And I thought, oh my word, let's just get this over with. I'm going to let her think she's told an interested person. I will say thank you, but no thank you. And we'll get this done. And then I will say, but I will be your loyal client forever. I love these products. I by then was trying more of the products, and everything that I tried, I thought that is the best body lotion I've ever tried. That is the best mascara. They were just on and on. So as I was determined not to listen, I found that I was beginning to hear some really solid facts about a company ingredients, all the things Connolly's just shared with you, and found myself listening. And so as I transition into telling you the rest of some of the things I heard on that initial conversation, I just want to give you a little snapshot of where I was as far as career, finance, all of that, when I heard of this. To just back up and give a little summary of how my husband and I have both earned incomes over the many years. You know, we did the pretty typical route, went to college, we met in college, we got degrees, we got married, and we got jobs. You know, go us, that's what you're supposed to do. Get out of college, get a job, woo, and began trading our time for a set dollar amount, building the wealth of others. And sometimes the work was enjoyable, but most of the time, to be honest, I know you think, can she really remember back that far? Yes, I can. I can remember that it was a real shock to start to put all of what we used to experience as life during college into after 5 o'clock, into weekends. Does anybody, some of y'all just were out of college yesterday. Y'all remember that. It's an adjustment. And we found ourselves being what I often call in that coin-operated world. And that was, we did our dance, our employers put some coins in. We danced for 2 weeks, they put some more coins in, and you know, if we danced very well, then maybe there were bonus coins at this time of year. But mostly we were working, even during the times where we enjoyed our jobs, we were mostly working to get to that rest, to get to 5 o'clock where we had a few hours we could call our own, to get to the weekend where we could make fun plans and do life again, to get to those 2 weeks of vacation. And the thought of being an entrepreneur, I mean, that wasn't even on the radar because those things cost lots of money. We were still just starting out. It wasn't even something we looked into, just assumed that was not an option. So after a few years of this, our first child was born. I'm thrilled to have Carly here tonight. You get to be her while I tell our story. And I saw those same 2 doors that most young moms see. I could stay home and raise her and give up my paycheck, or I could keep working, pay someone else to spend almost every waking hour with her the way I wanted to, and you know, of course, pay them a lot of what I was earning. I'm not here for a moment to say that there's a right and wrong. It's a frustrating decision, and there's no perfect decision, but I very much wanted to stay home, and I did. And as my husband continued to climb the corporate ladder, we became more and more comfortable on that one income. But then as the years went by, a second daughter came, more years, and I thought, wow, while his career is advancing, my gap in employment is getting wider all the time. And I thought, what would I do if something happened to Jeff? How on earth would I support myself and these 2 little girls? And then something did happen. Not the kind of thing that you're thinking. He got tired of being an employee. And he got tired of trading time for money, building the wealth of someone else, being at their beck and call, and jumping through hoops, playing the corporate politics, and thought, I will start my own CPA firm. If Dad ever will hear me tell this story. So overnight, we went from a comfortable, don't record. Overnight, we went from a very comfortable income to no income. That's what happens when you go out on your own. What a difference it would have made if I'd already been at that area manager level that Connolly pointed out earlier. What if I'd already had a consistent monthly check somewhere from $1,000 to $3,500 a month? It would have made a huge difference. We would have been prepared for that kind of impact. So for the sake of time, I've got to fast forward to where I was in 2006 when I agreed to act like I was listening to this Arbonne call. By then, my husband's CPA firm was going well, and I was self-employed too in a business that we bought in 2000 and ran from home. It was a growing concern, had a different growing financial concern this time, and that was in order for our clients to keep writing us checks, we're going to need to keep showing up and doing these 2 businesses all the rest of our lives. It's really hard to, save for retirement adequately when you're completely self-employed, health insurance is out of pocket and all of that. We were debt-free, we paid the bills, we had been really careful with money. We didn't have consumer debt, we never had. We got those 2 girls through college without student loans, so I don't want you to think that we just didn't have money for retirement because we were out playing. We were not. But I thought, you know what, we are going to have to continue working the rest of our lives. And every time I would talk to Jeff about it, he would say, I work all the time. I don't know what else I can do. Well, we both worked out of the home, and so I know full well he worked all the time. I saw him work all the time. And I wanted to, the other concern I had was that neither of our businesses were creating a recurring income. Well, I mean, that was the point of that, is that if we ever stopped, the money would stop coming in. And it just as great a concern was that what I did was alone. It was a fax, a phone, a computer. I never saw anyone all day long, except for my husband kind of at lunch, or when I needed to use the copier in his office. That was just not enough. I wanted to work, but I wanted work that was meaningful and work that had purpose in helping others in some way. I wanted something that I would feel at the end of every day that I'd made a difference in someone else's life, and this was not going to be that. I didn't look at ads online or in the paper because I knew that what I wanted didn't exist. I knew it wasn't going to be in the paper. I really didn't think it existed. But I had been self-employed for so long that I often say I had become unemployable, in the sense that while I was a very hard worker, it was going to be hard for me to consider going back and being on someone else's schedule and asking permission if I could be off here. And just, I mean, I'm not talking about just goofing off, just taking off because I wanted to go do something with one of my daughters, or take a friend to lunch, or take this week to go to the beach. And I couldn't see trading my time for a set dollar amount again and building the wealth of someone else. And, you know, all of that, I just, could not go back to letting someone else decide how much my time was worth. And I wanted work still that would feel like a volunteer job. I just needed to be paid. So that's where my mind was when I was listening to this information. I said I would not listen to, not really. I was quite honestly paying bills while I was listening to this call, because I knew this was a waste of time, and I thought I'll at least get something done in these 10 minutes. That's kind of mindless to write, you know, utility checks and put your return address labels. So I can still see all that desk set up. And that is when I began to hear what Connolly's already shared and what I'm going to move into and sharing now. And that is, you know, what is social marketing, which is Arbonne's business plan, which I should probably be looking at my own screen so I can keep up with you all here. So it's best to explain by contrasting it with traditional marketing, which everyone understands. When you look at those arrows going across the top of the screen there, then you're seeing, you know, how the traditional, it goes from, you know, that whole chain, from the warehouser to the wholesaler to the, manufacturer, warehouser, y'all can read it better. The sales force, the advertising's left out of there, but there's a lot of money there. So by the time you get to that product in the store, that's why it costs what it does. On the ownership side of traditional marketing or traditional business, there's the, you know, cost of the brick and mortar, of all the overhead, all the rent, it may be employees, payroll, stress. I can tell you we still own these two businesses, and they own us more than we own them. We have some flexibility with them, but it's always been a very short leash. In contrast, our social marketing business model offers the opportunity to work around a crazy busy life, whether that's a full-time job, part-time job, a stay-at-home mom, or owning your own business the way I was able to work it into ours. And since each person decides what they want to do, it's no one else's agenda. I didn't decide what Connolly needed to do. She had her own vision and goals for what she wanted to do with this business. So it can be a few hundred a month at district manager. It can be a couple of thousand a month at area manager and more at that level, or it can be replacing and surpassing any full-time professional income that you can name. And then, you know, just some other advantages is that Arbonne stocks the products. We do not hold inventory. So many of these companies require you to purchase the inventory first, and then it's on you to sell them, which is why a lot of people get stuck with a lot of products that they stopped doing it for some reason or were not able to sell. When our clients order, they're not getting it out of our supply closet. There's not one. They would not want my half-open protein shake in the kitchen. They're getting new products that are coming straight from the warehouse and delivered not to our front porch, but straight to theirs. So why Arbonne? Why now? There's certainly other social marketing companies out there. Social marketing is becoming It is booming. And you all know other social marketing companies, network marketing companies. We say social marketing because it's really just a word of mouth, person to person, whether it's word of mouth on the text or whatever means there is to communicate with. It's just friends recommending to others what they love. People of every age are looking for more options. Just last spring, many of you that are consultants know this, but a young 21-year-old college student promoted to the top level in the company. Connolly read that commission. The average at that level is $22,000 a month. She began her business at the age of 19, right there in her college dorm room. And she did it by doing our 30-day clean eating program. So tune into what Jessie says in a few minutes. She did it by experiencing that, saw great results that she had not seen from any other attempt to get healthy, get in shape, lose weight, began sharing it with friends, and friends shared it with friends, and it grew from there. So think how differently it's going to be for her when she graduates, or she may have graduated by now, to graduate with no student loans and with a six-figure income before she takes her first job in the real world. Maybe she won't take her first job in the real world. Who knows? So, and just a couple of the others, I'm not going to read all the way down here because y'all have had time to read this, but the evergreen commitment is really important. People are more educated today about the importance of the pure and safe products, and the marketplace demand is unlimited, as everyone uses these types of products, men, women, babies, children, athletes, and they use these types of products every day. And then the other one I just want to highlight is that our products are consumable. The products run out. Happy clients get online and they reorder their products. I would never put my time into a business where people did not have to reorder. And then, you know, that last one up there, the infrastructure is huge because everything is in place. You know, our e-commerce tools, the printed materials, it's all there. You think about that for very long. If you, or I'll just say if I, had the science background to make these products, that would just end it right there. But to be able to print those catalogs, to do the samples, I mean, there's so much behind it. It's really like owning your own business inside a business that's already so established. And then social marketing is the business model of the future. And the social media allows us to increase brand awareness, build loyalty, build relationships, and create connections with friends and community online. That might be very appealing to many of you. It might scare others to death who say, I don't like Facebook, I don't like social marketing, I don't know anything. That is fine. It's still person-to-person relationship building will never, ever go out of style. It's just another tool for those who want it. And there's been, for the sake of time, I'm not going to even begin to tell stories, but we know several on our team who have had others just watching on Instagram, not because they're vomiting about Arbonne products onto Instagram, but they're just letting people have a glimpse into their life's journey. And it looks very attractive. It is attractive. We love what we're doing and the choices we're able to create with this. So it can be a very, very effective tool. Technology, oh my goodness. Even I love this. Don't laugh. I love the technology. Looking right at someone. You instantly have your own e-commerce website that you personalize. And I really appreciate this. I don't know how many others were here when we had to pay for that website. We used to have to choose it, and it was $120 a year. So, you know, some people would choose to have one, some wouldn't. There's no cost for that. It's $79 to register in the beginning as a consultant. You never pay that again. And the website is always there. You can, you personalize it and it's there forever. Arbonne's website has the source, which is a cloud-based knowledge and training resource. They also have a digital toolkit where even I can go and copy and paste all kinds of Arbonne logos, Arbonne, all things Arbonne. There's endless supply of the digital, of the images on the toolkit. And we have a shopping app and a My Office app, so our clients can even shop from their phone. And we used to say, as long as you've got your laptop and your cell phone, you can be anywhere and do your business. Really now, all we have to say is as long as you've got your smartphone in your hand, you can do this business. So it works very simply. It's just experiencing, sharing, and selling better products. We begin to use the products ourselves. We honestly recommend them. There's not a one of us in here tonight that are consultants who could be doing this business if we didn't honestly love these products, if we wouldn't honestly choose them, even if there were no business in the, business opportunity. It's still what we would be choosing. And we recommend them just like I was doing already before I knew there was even a business to it. And then we share with others how they can do the same. It starts. How does this start? Sorry, lost my page here. I need two more tables up here. So how does this get started? How do you get from where you are now to where you want to be with what you want to create with this business? It starts with you. If you can picture this page and take out all those spaces for a moment and just put yours in the middle, it starts with you, with your want for something in your life to look different. That's it. Because so many people out there would also do this, because there's things in almost every person's life that if they were honest, I'd love to change this. I'd love to create this choice. I'd love to create this option. Others will join you. We build a network of independent consultants and our clients, which just continues to grow because you meet people through people every month. And that's exciting, especially when I think of how I used to spend life inside a little home office, and I went year after year without meeting anyone in there. So it's a global opportunity. We are currently in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Poland, New Zealand, Taiwan, and I'm sure a certain contingency over here can shout out where we're going in 2018. So why that's exciting is Elka. That is her homeland. It's where Elka grew up. She can hardly wait to go and introduce friends, family, and on, and build her business in Germany. That's exciting. So there are 4 ways to earn an income. The first one is the commissions, your profit from your personal product sales. This is important because it's one of the key things that keeps this from being called a pyramid. Now, if that goes through any guest's mind, but I know it went through mine, so I just want to hit that one right on the head and show how this is not a pyramid. A pyramid is illegal for one, and Arbonne is 37, going on 38 years old. We would not be in existence if we were in a legal pyramid scheme. We're the fastest growing member of the Direct Selling Association, so you can look up the stringent requirements that Arbonne has to meet to be part of that. So one thing is that no one makes money in Arbonne unless a product is sold. If you sponsor someone and they register for $79, no one gets a dime of that. That's going to the corporate expense and or the corporate running the business. But it's not your sponsor that's getting a dime of that $79. The point of that is it does no good for us to run around and sponsor a bunch of people who pay $79. That doesn't come to any of us. No one makes money unless a real product is sold. The other is that when you sell a product, no one earns more commission on the sale of that product than you. Not that person who sponsored you and not on up the line. You earn the most. And so a pyramid would be just the opposite. And that would not be fun to sign up to do a business where you think, okay, I just spent 2 hours sharing these products. I bet my sponsor was home having a glass of wine and she just made all the money. It's not that. It's just the opposite. You're out there doing the work. You're the one who's making the most. It's the most fair and moral compensation plan business model ever created because there's no politics in it. If you work, you're rewarded for the work. And that is, not the way it is everywhere out there. There are overrides. The second one, it's your earnings from product sales by your team. Connolly mentioned earlier the Mercedes-Benz cash bonus program for regional and national vice presidents. And I'm telling you, those of you who saw what I was driving before I got my Mercedes can see that I do appreciate having a car that runs. I parked a 14-year-old Oldsmobile Aurora that I'd inherited from my father and drove home one day in a car that Arbonne was making the payments on. They paid that in 4 years, and for the next 2 years, we did not have to make a car payment, but we still received that $800 check. That's how the kitchen repairs got done a couple of years ago. And then when my husband's car died, I was able to hand down to him the first Mercedes, and I now have another, but we own that one free and clear. And I now have another one that Arbonne's making the payments on. So I'm just saying that because that's a very real benefit, because we were one of those who drove cars until they died, and in the final years, you were throwing good money after bad. Does anybody relate to any of that? You can earn cash bonuses at every level. It always was district, area, and region that you could earn them. Now in nation, you can earn them as a consultant. And I love that. Again, it's just like with so many things, you're doing what you're doing, but you're not being recognized, and Arbonne is great on recognition. So Anne, let's skip this where do you see yourself slide. I just want to go to the next one, because this all sounds, we've told you all these benefits. So I'm going to check my time. Okay, wrap this up. Some common fears and hesitations, because what holds people back? If something has all of this to offer, why is everyone not doing that? Well, everyone comes to the table with some set of fears. This is normal because this is new. It's thinking out of the box. So I'm just going to hit a few of these very quickly. One of the most common for people to say is, I don't have time. And I bet everyone can relate to that. I didn't have time either. I definitely didn't have time to add a cute little hobby. But the more I looked at this, I thought, I believe I can make time to build a multi-million-dollar international business that will also give me the chance to empower others to create the choices they want to create in life. The I don't have enough money is really a misconception, because we hear of so many that require these thousands of dollars startup orders and purchasing inventory, and Arbonne does not do that. It's $79 to register, and then begin to use the products. Begin to use them so that you're a product of the product. It's kind of hard to build a business when you're using other brands, but saying you should use Arbonne. I don't know enough people is pretty common, and no one knows enough people, not one person. You have to meet people through people. And that is not hard. There's always more people out there that you can meet. And I don't understand the business model. Hopefully you understand a little bit more of that tonight. I'm not a salesperson. I was really stuck on that one for a while, because I am not one. I didn't want to become one. 11 years later, I have not become one. I was thrilled that there were not scripts of weird sounding lines to learn, which I wouldn't have done. I would have just been done with Arbonne if I had seen one sales script that was designed so that I could say these manipulating things that we all can recognize a mile away, and just like, that's the end when we hear that coming at us. So so Lisa Voorhees, I believe at GTC, it's a name that consultants recognize, who we all love, an executive national vice president, and she made the comment from the stage last year that we are not out to get anyone, we're out to gift someone, meaning we're not out to get someone to buy our products or do this business. We are out there to simply offer a gift, to gift someone with the products or gift someone with the opportunity. If it's not for them, it's not for them. So really, the only way that you are going to get past some of these fears is just by jumping in and going for it. It's one of those things that if you are thinking that this is something that you are more intrigued about to create the choices that you want, and you go out of here and begin to ask other people's opinions, you'll get opinions from those who've never built a network marketing business, but they've heard that their friend or their cousin tried to do it once and it didn't work, and they lost money and they didn't make any money, and these things don't work. Well, the translation of that is usually that that person didn't work, or that person didn't work long enough, or that person didn't work long enough doing the right things. Because in reality, this business is not supposed to work for us anyway. We're supposed to work for our business. more importantly, work for our dreams. And that is why, those of us who have kind of been around here for, I don't know, anywhere from 2 months to years, why we really have such a bond, not just with each other, but across the board in Arbonne, because you're with people who have had the courage to dream and to work for those dreams. And Connelly and I can both tell you, we were not dreamers. We were very realistic, very skeptical, and it has been one of the most life-changing experiences for both of us to be able to dream and to work for our dreams and to help others work for their dreams. So on that note, the last message here is about dreaming big, because we are where we are today because of the choices we made yesterday. That question, if you keep doing what you're doing, where will you be in 5 years? That was not a new question to me when it popped up in this Arbonne presentation. It was something I already thought about all the time. That's why I was always asking my husband, one of us needs to do something different, or we are going to be right here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I can't fault him. Neither one of us had an answer for that until Arbonne. And Arbonne is the reason now that we are making specific plans in the years, not tomorrow, but in the the near future, that we will be able to sell the other businesses, that we will be able to retire. And it's because I said yes to this. But I just encourage you, instead of asking, what if it doesn't work, which is what our minds default to ask, what if it does? Or better said, what if I work? What if I work for my dreams? So thank you all for listening. I probably went a tad bit over, but Connelly, come back up here. I'm going to move all my notes. I'm always afraid I'm going to get off track, so I always have notes in every direction. So where are we going? We got to find the recognition page. This is our favorite part, is to get to recognize. A lot of times people are not recognized in their workplaces for their accomplishments, and we have had so much fun receiving and giving recognition in Arbonne. So you want to start with?
Yeah, great. So our first is those who are in qualification for district manager, which is our first level in Arbonne. And we have Alicia Stark, who I sponsored. She's unable to be here tonight. Kristen Doherty, come on up, sponsored by Jamie Stafford. Okay, and Allison Kalahusky, Virginia, sponsored by Kristen. Allison can't be here tonight, she's working, so we wanted to video this for her. And then Tori Rogers, Virginia, sponsored by Renee Marks. Come on up, Tori. And then Dina is going to read.
Can someone get a picture of these two? We know these two right here are always on Facebook. So you gotta get their pictures up there. Can someone just, Fran, do you have it? Can you take a picture? Okay, one.
Courtney's like 2.
Yeah, 3. Courtney. Okay,
yes. They take direction.
And then, I should have waited because I want to recognize one more, because this is really, really unusual. Well, you might just have to have a picture all by yourself, because those that Connelly just read, that was getting in qualification for district in November or maybe October and November. But there is a consultant in here who launched her business on December 1st, and within 48 hours was in qualification for district. And I thought, when someone, usually that didn't happen before we get to the monthly meeting. But Beth Hooper, sponsored by Fran Babishak, come up here. You want to grab the flower? So you two, someone, and take a picture of them too. You gotta come closer, I'm gonna pull this off. And it was such a joy. Fran, Ann, and I were at different ones of Beth's business launches.
I'm sorry, I'll just see you.
You're like a fan. It's like a press area.
Anyway, I loved hearing Beth share, and we'll hear more from her soon. And then we have a new district manager who could not be here tonight, but she's watching. She lives in Lynchburg, and her name is Renee Marks. And so let's clap for Renee. And I sponsored Renee. I met Renee and Tori when they were in the youth group, and with Carly way back in another lifetime. Sorry, Carly, that makes you sound old too. So anyway, and just, shared this with Renee over the years, and she has a very, very strong why to be able to replace her income as a teacher and be home with her adorable little girls who are about 3 and 1. And so Renee, congrats. We are so proud of you. And then let me recognize those who earned the consultant bonus, right? We're on track?
Yep.
Okay.
And just note that Renee's gets from you.
Yeah, I told her. So anyway, we got a
So
plan.
everyone knows.
Yes, there are gifts. And I'll get new
flowers.
flowers. You won't get the old flower here. Flowers, I have the gifts wrapped and all that, hoping that she could get here. But yeah, you do get lots of gifts. Because you get gifts from your sponsor. And so I'm your sponsor, your district manager, your area manager, and your RVP. So we got all the gifts from me.
Everything to
for
you,
her.
Renee.
So anyway, and then consultant bonus is new within the last few months. Consultant bonus before you are a district manager, and we have 2, Allison Kahelski and Tori Rogers. So we just want to recognize you for that. So great job. And then district manager.
And so district manager bonus in Arbonne, in addition to the commissions you're earning on, your product sales and the sales of your team, if you sell a certain amount within your central district, and then there's a certain sponsoring requirement that comes as well. So it's basically double the amount of the requirement to be a district manager. You get an additional $200 from Arbonne, which is great. First of all, I just want to note on all these bonuses, I think it's amazing that every month you can work for a bonus. Former teacher speaking here. And so Dina and I gift you with a $5 Starbucks card too if you earn your district manager bonus. So our bonus earners are myself, Rachel Camfield, who's maybe having a baby. I don't know. Her due date is today, so she's not here. Thank you. Jamie Stafford, come on up. One of our long distance travelers to our monthly meeting. And Fran Babishag, no surprise. And Dina Kretzer.
And then we also recognize for this strange thing, guests will go, what is a perfect brick? Well, a perfect brick is symbolic of that this is not a get rich quick kind of scheme. It's a building wealth in a slow and stable way. It doesn't have to be all that slow, but definitely we want it stable. And so we talk about having the perfect brick every month of having $2,500 in sales that comes from you. That's an average of about 600-ish a week. And 625 to be exact, in case y'all are watching my math. It doesn't have to be by the week, but just 2,500 in the month. And sponsoring 5 new preferred clients or consultants. And so we recognize that Arbonne it's not a separate recognition, but obviously your business grows because today's sponsoring is tomorrow's reorders and just a chance to build relationships with those new clients. So perfect brick this month, Connolly Stewart, Brianna Peasy, Fran Babishek. How did I pronounce it?
No, that's fine. I was just saying Rihanna's in. I was just
sorry.
I'm just sorry. Just shut me up. You're good. Rihanna, I'm so proud of her, but she's from our New England team, so I just wanted to recognize her in that way.
And Fran Babishek and I earned the perfect brick. Come on up.
And then we also recognize every month anyone who is halfway to region qualification to becoming a regional vice president. And so halfway to regional qualification is Rachel Camfield, who I sponsored. She's not tonight, but you guys know Rach.
Because yesterday was her due date, so she is waiting. Today was her due date. Yeah, missing the dates. Thank you. Just think if you're listening. And
Who knows Rachel the best?
Are you watching this? And we, hope dealers are again over the halfway to nation mark. So we are getting close, folks, and that will happen as each of you just continue to get that much closer to your dreams and your goals. And next we have, did the agenda get folded up with all my notes? That's great. I'll find it again.
Nope.
Jamie. Thank you. Jamie, you ready, girl? This is Jamie Stafford, who is an executive district manager, sponsored by Connolly. And
Jamie drives all the way from. Fredericksburg area.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Stafford. Thank you, Dina. So I am an executive district manager at Gantalk. And I'm going to just share a little bit about myself and then about GTC. And you might not know what GTC is. I'll get there, I promise. I'm gonna keep you on your toes. So anyways, about me, I am a school counselor. I wake up every morning and go to school to hang out with 11 to 14-year-olds every day. And they are incredibly amazing. And I love what I do. I actually learned about Arbonne when I was in grad school at VCU to be a school counselor. And I went to a little get-together, which is when I met Connolly. And I just loved everything about it. I had never even heard of Arbonne, and I just fell in love with the products. I kind of turned Connolly down for a little bit because I was like, oh, grad school, obviously that's the only thing I can do. But then shortly after, I realized that I needed something else. And boy, am I so glad I made this jump, because I don't quite know if I was meant to be the school counselor for 30 years, you know, where I retire when I have a walking crane or something, because I want nothing more. What? Oh, I don't know what they're called.
Cane.
Oh, cane, crane. No, I'll need a crane. See, I won't even need one. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh. I love you too. Anyways, so I really want nothing more than to be a mom, and I just don't feel like I can do what I'm doing right now and be an effective parent. And so I love what I do, but I think right now I'm putting in 150% so that I won't have as much guilt when the time comes for me to be able to walk away and spend my time with my family. I am so passionate about students, especially students who are grieving. That's near and dear to my heart because I lost my dad when I was growing up. And so I am actively involved in other organizations that help students that grieve with a loss in their life. And so I can kind of see myself doing that. So Arbonne is allowing me to dream bigger. Not only did I think that I was just going to be a school counselor for the rest of my life, but I was introduced to Arbonne, and it has just opened my mind and my eyes to so many different opportunities, more than I ever imagined having. And so right now I am a school counselor and building my business alongside that, so that eventually when I decide to step away, I'm going to be able to do that, and I am working my way to doing that right now. I think I'm going to hold on a little bit longer because I just love working with my middle school students, but I love the fact that I have that plan B, and I always try to instill that in my students to think big and to dream big, but to have options and have a plan B so that no matter what, they'll be set in life. And so I just jumped all over the place. Maybe before I tell you about GTC, I'll just share my quick 30-second story from today, which is another reason why I probably am like a little off of it. So I've been teaching some of my 6th grade students about careers, and in addition to working with them on a lot of different mental illnesses personally, one-on-one, I get to teach in the classrooms about once a month. And recently, I tried to use a cool word in front of my students, and I think I said something like on fleek. Dina, have you heard that? You look confused!
That would be a no.
It's on fleek is like, oh my god, that's so cool, like that's so lit. That's just like all they use, oh my gosh. And so I used it, and all my class was like, oh, Miss Stafford is so cool. And my one student that I work with a lot, she goes, oh my gosh, old people aren't allowed to say that. And I looked at her and was like, we'll talk about this later. So yeah, so they keep me on my toes. Anyways, GTC, I know old. Half of them are always like, Miss Stafford, are you 19? And I'm like, yeah. So GTC stands for Global Training Conference. And I told someone this one time and they said it meant a lot to them, and so I want to share this with you. My first year in Arbonne, I've been doing Arbonne for about 4 years now, almost 4 years. I launched my business 4 years ago in January. In my very first year that I was in Arbonne, GTC fell on the weekend that I was going to graduate from VCU and getting my master's. Second year, I went to GTC, our global training conference, which is in Vegas in April, and someone tell me the dates. April 18th through 20th. Everyone put that on your calendar. Yes. I regret not going my first year. Something that was such a big milestone to me in getting my master's. The next year when I went to GTC, I realized that I wish I had been there instead of graduating because of how amazing it was. It's something that I can't even explain. You're in an arena with 20,000, close to 20,000 women, all there because they want to make a difference in others' lives. And I recently, with Julia Jane this past weekend, went to, we had a vendor event, and one of the women there that was with another company, she talked all about another company. It was a vendor event. We're all with the companies. She talked about how awesome her training was every year that she went to because she just wrote pages and pages of facts and notes that made me think, wow, all of that is available to us on the source, which is our website, that I can just have at the touch of a button. This conference that we have in Vegas every year is more about yourself and growing yourself as a person and going there with people that are like-minded, that love to help others, that want to have fun, and you get to meet these people that you think, oh my gosh, they're Arbonne celebrities, and they're just like us. They are humans. They have lives just like we all do, but they're doing Arbonne. They are making a difference because they decided to say yes, and they decided to take that leap of faith and have the opportunity. So I don't know how to explain it besides it is life-changing. You step into the arena and you get goosebumps. It's just one of those times where you look around and you think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here. I'm here with all of my close friends. I'm here because I want to make a difference, and I decided to take those 3 days off of school and go for myself. I don't take a sick day all year, but I go to Vegas, and I tell my boss that after I already signed up for Vegas because no is not an option for me. So, everyone, 18th of April to the 20th, I would love to see all of you there. We all snuggle in hotel rooms together. Yeah, we snuggle. Right, Julie Jane? And it's just such a cool time. If you think about when you were a teenager or in middle school and you just had that girlfriend time that is just unforgettable that you can never get back. To me, that's GTC every year. You have these opportunities, these times that you can't get back with your friends, and you learn and you grow. You go to some parties with your friends, and you learn about all these new products that they release every year. You just see the big picture of why this company has continued to grow for the last 37, almost 38 years. You see the vision. It is insane to me that for almost 40 years, you have a company that has these beliefs and has this mission and this vision that some companies you're just seeing sprouting on the shelves now, but they've had that same vision for 40 years. That's incredible to me. Something that is before my lifetime. Like your voice. So, anyways,
Thanks.
thank you. Sorry that my brain's a little bit scattered, but I appreciate being able to share with you guys. And here you go, Jessie.
Thank you, Jamie.
You took my notes. My notes.
Uh-oh.
You stole my notes.
Start talking. I'll find it. Writing no notes. There we go.
My name is Jessie Collier. I am an executive area manager. Thank you for my notes. I wrote notes because I could talk about this for a really long time, but I'm going to try and stay on track because y'all want to go to bed eventually. So if there is anything that I want you to take away from the next few minutes, it's belief has a sound. So raise your hand if the 30-day, if your life or someone else's life has been changed by the 30 days. Raise them high. Don't be embarrassed. It's a good thing. Okay. So to the consultants in this room, if you don't have a story like that and you're trying to share this program, that's exactly where you need to start. Create your own story. How do we share more passionately about something? Anything, right? When we are trying to sell or when it's changed our life. People don't like to be sold to, but people want help with their problems. I don't even mention Arbonne when I share this program with people. I'm confident in the products, the results, and the education behind it. I've researched food for 8 years, ever since I had to make the choice that all parents have to make. How many parents do we have in here? How many moms? Yeah, right. Do I buy the food or do I make the food? Food is at the root of most health issues that we experience. Do you have to be a nutritionist or research food as much as I have to be able to share this program? No, but knowledge is power. We can't live well if we don't feel well. Most people give up on their New Year's resolution within 4 days, January 4th. They quit. We can help it stick. Gym memberships are skyrocketing, they're going up, right? But health in this country is going the opposite direction. And what's the gap? It's food. I have yet to find another program that can do what this program does. I've tried to poke holes in it. I confidently share this program because I have transformed people's lives with this program. Whether I help people get rid of migraines, lose 25 pounds, get off medications, or just sleep better. Facts tell, stories sell. You don't have to know the nutrition facts to share this program. You need to have a story. If you don't have a story yet, that's okay. We all start somewhere. I believe that vulnerability goes a long way, so it can sound something like this. I have no idea what I'm getting into, but the stories I'm hearing are incredible. And if I never try it, I will never know. What do I have to lose? Want to do it with me? If you don't have your story yet, do the program and find people who do have a story. Start with the people who raised their hands in this room. I've done this program fully, like 100% fully, no cheating, twice a year for 4 years. And I live it as a lifestyle now 95% of the time because it works. I was just texting with a friend today who I asked to join me next month for January's 30-day. I've asked her for years. Instead of starting in January, she's actually starting next week when her order comes in, which was her idea, not mine, after we texted back and forth. What's the difference? Belief has a sound. I promised that I would be there for her every step of the way. I told her I have 3 rules. Ask me anything, trust me, and be patient. I didn't get this confident overnight. If you've been here since I started 5 years ago, I mean, yeah, it was a hot mess. I leaned in and I learned, I made mistakes, I got back up, and I tried again. I followed the same rules I gave my friend. Ask questions, trust the process, and be patient. Dina asked me also to share tonight about my experience on Arbonne's trip, because next year's trip was just released to Jamaica. I got to take my husband on a 7-day cruise for our 7th wedding anniversary because I earned the trip by following the system. If you think you can't, you won't. If you think you can, you can. Belief has a sound. I focused on helping as many people do what I was doing. Set a goal and put a plan in place, and that's what your sponsor is for. Everyone in this room can earn that trip. People who started, 6 months before the trip was announced are going to be on that trip. There's no excuse. People who started this month will be going on that trip. What you focus on grows. Do you choose faith or do you choose fear? If there's a crack in your belief, no matter what it is, you will fill it. But you have a choice. You can fill it with facts or feelings. Which one's more reliable? The cruise for me was tangible proof that solidified my confidence in this company, this business, and myself, because I met real, normal people, just like me, from around the world that I'm still friends with today. And I learned their story. So over the last 5 years, this business has helped me figure out what I'm passionate about, what I value, how I can use my story to help other people. Arbonne is a vehicle to help you get from where you were or where you are to where you want to be. I started out as a frustrated stay-at-home mom with a perfection problem. You laugh because you can relate. Yeah, okay. And now I am content, I'm confident, and I love my life because I get to become a better me and transform the lives of people I know. So if you want to learn exactly the particulars about this program, we have a one-page document that is so simple to follow, that goes over exactly what this is. But again, facts tell, stories sell, belief has a sound.
Thanks, Jesse.
Here's my beautiful friend, area manager Amber.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you two girls do the wrap.
You did
Yes.
have a picture up there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, do you want me to run it?
Oh, everybody get their
Where's
wrap.
the
Oh,
numbers?
where's the? Let me see the one.
What?
They're 4.
Okay, who's the lucky winner? Hope it's Bridget. All right, last 3 digits is 823.
823.
Nobody?
Yeah, I wasn't in that for this.
All right, 830. Oh my gosh!
Don't say that. Belief has a sound. Here's the sound.
833. Okay. 820. Sorry, Bridget. All right, I'm going to be doing the close tonight. Thank you, everyone who came out tonight and those that are guests that came. We're so glad that you're here. And I'm sure you're going to walk away feeling inspired, like, what am I going to do tomorrow? You know, it's so nice to hear from real people doing this business and hearing their stories, feeling inspired in that way, but also just hearing what they're doing with Arbonne. I think that that's really what stuck out to me. So it was this month is my anniversary actually for 2 years. So I've been doing Arbonne now for 2 years. It's kind of hard to believe. I feel like I just started yesterday just because I'm still so excited, the way that I thought when I first started. So I kind of was thinking about how to close out tonight because I've never done a close. But I was thinking about my first time here when I came to the meeting. You know, I was introduced to the business. I was actually introduced through the 30 Days to Healthy Living, which Jesse shared so much about that. But it's such a powerful plan if you've not done it. Us in January, but I did that, and then when I was presented with the business by my dear sister Anna, you know, I'd heard about Arbonne, but really when she said, you know, you need to do this with me, I came to my meeting and it was like a lot of the things that you might be thinking, it was what I was also experiencing. Excited, I felt scared. I also had so many objections and fears and all of these things wrapped up in my head. But I definitely went home feeling excited And I woke up having this stir inside of me. I was like, I just got to do this. Whereas before, I would go to bed being like, oh, I'm going to do this for the next 5 years. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. My name is Amber Fry, and I'm an area manager. I teach private music lessons. I've been doing that for 15 years and teaching violin and piano and cello. I love what I do. I love my kids. I love that I can pour into them and I make a difference in their lives. But I also knew I wanted to do something more. Like, I just knew that there was something more. Life started to look very, very different when I got married, when we were starting to talk about having a family, when I really just kind of wanted to work less and play hard. I wanted life to look different. And, you know, I was thankful for my teaching job, but I was really, really burned out. Some of you might love your job, and that's awesome. Arbonne is still for you. For me, I wanted to really cut back. And so that's been the beauty in it, is I've been able to cut back already. I'm still cutting students, and it's a great feeling. Connolly said, I think you need to do that. I'm like, I know. So kind of like Jamie, you know, I have a lot of, I'm invested in my students, but I'm excited for the day when I can just really maybe just have a couple of the students I really love and then just do Arbonne full time. So anyway, I just related so much to the stories when I first came to my first meeting. So that might be what you're thinking. Hesitations of mine when I first thought about doing this was I didn't have enough time. So that was a big one. Has anybody thought that? Even those who started, I didn't have enough time. That was a huge one for me because I really didn't have enough time. My husband told me, we don't have enough time. So there's a lot of, you know, I don't have enough time. How would I do this? My other one was my insecurities. You know, I thought I would be horrible at Arbonne. I was like, I'm introverted. I'm not good at speaking in front of people. I'm just not good at this. And you can see how this has really grown me. So I'm standing up here with a mic. And then also my ego was totally in my way. I'm a cool musician. You know, I've toured the United States. I record with a lot of bands. I have my feet in all kinds of different creative things. People like me don't do Arbonne. That's really what I was thinking. And I was so wrong with all three of those things. Anybody has time to do Arbonne. Like, anybody could fit this into their life some way, weave it through their life. And insecurities of like, I would be horrible at this. Well, I love that we have a simple system for success. We have people that are there for us to teach us along the way if you're coachable. And then the cool part of, oh man, I'm too cool for school. I realized there's so many amazing cool people in this business. You know, they're very educated, super smart people do Arbonne. And anyway, so I have 3 takeaways, 3 things to think about. If you think that you want to do this, and you also think that you might be horrible at Arbonne, because maybe you think, or you don't have enough time, just remember these 3 things: consistent effort, duplication, and give it enough time. So if you do those 3 things, you will be successful. You will be awesome at Arbonne if you can do those 3 things. You will not goof it up. So I'll have you just leave with this one question. You can journal about it, talk to yourself on the way home. What do you want? What do you want out of life? Because I think that's a good question. That was something I was asking myself. I feel like that's what my husband and I were having conversations about. In some kind of way, we're always asking that. Like, what do we want? If it scares you, I would definitely really start talking about it. And then my second question is, could Arbonne be that missing piece that would allow you to have what you want? So think about those things as you leave. We're so glad that you're here and that you came. Have a good night.
Good job.
Yeah.
It's only because Carly's living with us now, so I'm rating her closet.
I was gonna say, I want your top. Is that from you?
Well, thank you all for coming, Amber. That was such a beautiful, beautiful